is creating a directory structure, create a servlet, compile the servlet, create a deployment descriptor, so start the server and destroy the project, deploy the project, access the servlet. These are the steps complete. All if you want to run a servlet, you want to create a servlet for any request. So login servlet or registration servlet or whatever. So these steps we should follow. First one is that we should create the directory structure. Second one is that create the servlet. So that means write the code for the servlet. Next to compile the servlet in order to get the class file. Next create a deployment descriptor, that is a web.xml. Okay, after that start the server. So Tomcat server we should start for running your application. After starting the server, then simply deploy that project whatever. So you can create in the same Apache foundation, or you can create separately. If it is if you create it separately, you should deploy it in the directory structure. Okay, that is okay. If you create it in the Apache foundation, so no need to deploy this project. Just simply start the server, then access the servlet. So open the browser, type the localhost colon 8080. Okay, then whatever you want to run, that will be open, that server will be open, so from there you can access that servlet. So these are the different steps to finally execute the servlet. So I have shown all these. Then servlet API also. So there are two types of packages used. One is a javax.servlet package, another one is a javax.servlet.http package. Okay, these have a different interfaces and classes.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes,
Sir, are you
yes.
presenting anything, sir?
No, 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 no. They already this one completed. I'm recollecting, revising.
Oh, okay, sir.
So
Thank
not
you, sir.
presenting anything.
Okay, sir.
So already we in the last classes we completed this all. Okay, servlet API, that is important. After that introduction, servlet life cycle, then steps to create a servlet. So after that, the servlet API, that is important. Which packages are used in the servlet for any servlet, whether it is a login or registration or whatever, these are required. So one is a javax.servlet and the one is a javax.servlet.http. So that is a generic servlet and HTTP servlet. These two. So these two packages, in these two packages, different interfaces and classes are there. So there are many interfaces in these two packages. Okay, which interface you require, then you can use that in your servlet. So generally, first we'll create a request object and response object. So servlet request to servlet response. These objects can be created by using these interfaces. So which request object or response object. So created by using servlet request interface, servlet response interface. And some classes also there. So you can use class and interface, which one is required for you, then you can use that. The next okay, yeah, I think in the last class up to this we completed. So now I'm sharing the screen. You tell me now, is it visible? Yes. No, is it visible? Now I shared the screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay. So servlet, in the last class, how servlet works, that one completed. How to access that servlet? So we have to type this in the URL http colon host name, that is a default one, is a local host colon 8080 is a port number, is a 8080. Okay, then the context root then URL pattern of whatever pattern is given in the web.xml, that pattern. Okay, so next how servlets works. Then here first, if it is a first time, uh, we have seen in the differences between CJ script and servlet. So in the CJ script, for every request, whether it a first time or second time, how many times, every time the servlet class will be loaded. But in the CJ script, but in the servlet, not like that. So first, server checks if the servlet is requested for the first time. So the server first checks if the servlet is requested for the first time. If it is the first time, then if yes, web container does the following tasks. One is a loads the servlet class. Okay, this is if it is the first time, then loads the servlet class. The next to create the instance for the servlet class. Second step. So next to call the init method, passing the servlet config object. Okay, these three. So these three steps, actually total 5 steps are there in the life cycle of servlet. So one is loading the servlet class, creating the instance servlet class, calling the init method, invoking the init method, next service method invoking, next try method invoking. These are the 5 steps. Okay, if the request is for the first time, if yes, the web container is going to do these first 3 steps of life cycle, servlet life cycle. That is loading the servlet class, create the instance for the servlet class, calling the init method by passing servlet config object. Okay. If it is not, if it is not for the first time, else directly call the service method, calling service method by passing request and response objects. Okay. Okay, this is how servlet works. The next one is a servlet API. Yes, so this is a important one. Which packages are used, which classes are used, which interfaces are used, we'll see in servlet API in this topic. Here, two packages, as I told you that this javax.servlet and javax.servlet.http. These two packages are used representing interfaces and classes for API, servlet API. Okay, first the first package, that is javax.servlet package, contains many interfaces and classes that are used by the servlet or web container. So these are not specific to any protocol. Okay, these are not specific to any protocol. That is a protocol independent. The next, this second package, that is a javax.servlet.http. So this package contains interfaces and classes that are responsible for HTTP request only. Okay, this is a protocol independent. So if the request through HTTP protocol, then only these interfaces or classes can handle that. Okay, so this is a protocol dependent. So you'll see what are the interfaces of this first package. Yes, these are there are many interfaces in this package. These are filter config, filter chain, servlet request listener, servlet request attribute listener, servlet context listener, servlet context attribute listener. These are the different interfaces. So which one is required for you, then you can use that interface. Okay, these all servlet to servlet request to servlet request, which servlet request, servlet response, request to dispatcher, servlet config, servlet context, so single thread mode. So these are the different. Okay. So far we have seen this servlet request to servlet response, servlet request dispatcher, servlet config. Okay, in the I think I have shown a small example servlet hello world. In that we used this interface servlet request, servlet response. So this one for creating the request object, this for creating the response object. Okay, here are classes. What are the classes here are there in this package? So what we have seen, those are interfaces in servlet javax dot servlet package. So now these are classes. Yes. So these are the various classes in this package. Uh, Generic servlet, servlet input stream, servlet output stream, servlet request wrapper, response wrapper, servlet request event, servlet context event, servlet request attribute event, context attribute event, servlet exception, unavailable exception. So these are the different classes which are there in this package. Generic servlet. We have seen this generic servlet class. Okay, next interfaces in the second package. So another package we have, that is a Java Servlet.htdp package. This is a protocol dependent package. So whatever the request through HTTP protocol, then these interfaces, these classes are used to process that. So there are many interfaces in this. So HTTP servlet request. Okay, only this HTTP is added. So if HTTP is not there, that is a which one first category of this interface is belonging to the first category of package. So HTTP servlet request. This is for same creating the request object. Then this one is the response object. Session. Okay, creating the session. We will see that topic in the next coming classes. Session and cookie. This is for creating the session object. HTTP session listener, session attribute to listener, session building listener, binding listener, activation listener. So these all are the on session tracking. Okay, so those are the interfaces. Next we will see that classes. So here many classes are there. The HTTP server class, cookie, HTTP servlet request wrapper, response, servlet response wrapper, HTTP session event, session binding event, HTTP utils. So these are the different classes. Next to servlet interface. Yes, first we'll see servlet interface. HTTP generic servlet. We'll say that servlet interface provides common behavior to all the servlets. It provides a common behavior. So while creating that, we can change that behavior. So this first it provides a common behavior to all the servlets. So this interface needs to be implemented for creating any servlet, so directly or indirectly. Okay, this is a protocol independent. So it provides three lifecycle methods that are used to initialize the servlet, to service the request, and to destroy the servlet. Okay, it provides three lifecycle methods and two non-lifecycle methods. Okay, this is about servlet interface. Next, methods of servlet interface. Which methods are there in this servlet interface? Okay, there are five methods. So one is a init service to destroy of the which one lifecycle method of servlet. These are invoked by web container. So one is a init. Okay, init. This is for initialization. Okay, this is a lifecycle servlet lifecycle method, and this is invoked by web container only once. So next one is a wide service, public wide service. Here through this method, two objects are passed. One is a request object and another one is a response object. So servlet request to request, servlet response response. So provides a response for the incoming request. So it is invoked at each request by web container. How many requests are coming? Then those many times this is invoked. Next to destroy, this is invoked only once and indicates that servlet is being destroyed. Next one is one more servlet config. Get servlet config. It returns a object of the servlet config. Okay, this is optional one, but first three are compulsory. So this method used if you want to know uh, which kind of information that object is getting or taking. So that is a get servlet config. This is for retrieving the objects, servlet config objects. Next, get servlet info. This is another method, so optional method. It returns information about the servlet, such as writer or copyright or version, which kind of that. This is going to return the information about the servlet. So get servlet info. Is servlet example by implementing servlet interface. Okay, in the lab we will see that example is there. Okay, I will show that execution, not execution. How to write the code, I will show that after this. So next one is a generic servlet class. Okay, so HTTP servlet completed. Now generic servlet class. This implements servlet config, serializable interfaces. So it provides the implementation of all the methods. So except service method, that is what that is replaced by other methods. So generic servlet class he can handle any type of request. So it is a protocol independent. So HTTP servlet is a protocol dependent. This one is a protocol independent. So it can handle any type of request. Okay, so we can create a generic servlet by inheriting the generic servlet class by providing uh, and providing the implementation of the service method. So methods here, these are the different methods. Same public void init. So initializing servlet. Next one is a public abstract wide service. So here abstract, if it is a public wide service, that is a HTTP servlet service method. So this is a generic servlet service method provides a service for the incoming request. Same thing. So it is invoked at each time when user requests for a servlet. Okay, this is a repeatedly executed. This is only called only once. Destroy is invoked only once throughout the life cycle. It indicates the server is being destroyed. At the end of you want to close, then this method is invoked to destroy the servlet. So one more is there, that is the same thing, get servlet config and get servlet info. So this is for returning the servlet config object, and this is for returning some information about the servlet, like writer information, copyright information, version, etc. Some information about the servlet. Okay, here in this method, without passing that object, so empty without parameter with parameter in it. So this is a convenient method for the servlet programmers. Now there is no need to call super dot in config. So without parameter passing, you can use this. So one more servlet context, get servlet context returns. So returns a object of the servlet context. Get init parameter. Okay, this is for retrieving the parameters which are there in the web.xml. So enumeration here return all parameters so which are defined in the web.xml. So string get servlet name returns the name of the servlet object. So log, this method writes a given message into the servlet log file. Yes, here we have single parameter here, two parameters. So same thing, but writes the explanatory message in the servlet log file and stack trace. So for this also one example there. So HTTP servlet class, same thing. Here it provides some specific methods such as do get to, do post to, do head to, do trace. So these are the different methods. Mm. Hello. Class में हूँ क्लास लो हाँ. Yes. So service method same as previously, which method used in the generic servlet and simple servlet. So it dispatches a request to the protected service method by converting the request and response objects. Okay, so here this method can be replaced by do get to, do post to, do three, do get, do post. Already you know the difference between these do get and post method. Same thing. So get request. This is only for handle the request which is coming from this get method. So this is a post method. If the request, if the form or whatever submitted using a post method, then the server side this method is called. That means service is replaced by service method is replaced by do post. So do head. Okay, this is handles a head request. It is invoked by the web container only. So do options. Okay, this is also handles the options. It is invoked by the web container. Put request. So get to, put to, post to, these three. So handles the put request. So do trace. This trace request. These all invoked by web container. So these all methods are replaced by service. Actually, service will be replaced by do head, do options, do put, do trace, do get, do post. So depending on the request type. So do delete. It is all. Next, get lost modified. You want to retrieve that. What is a last modified date and time? Then this method is used. Get lost modified. Okay. So these all are the various methods of HTTP servlet. Okay, we have three servlets. One is a simple servlet, generic servlet, HTTP servlet. Okay, you can use either generic servlet or HTTP servlet. So HTTP servlet is a protocol dependent, then generic servlet is a protocol independent. So if the request through any protocol, then that generic servlet can handle. But this HTTP servlet can handle only if the request coming through HTTP protocol. Okay, so far we have seen what are the packages, then which type of classes or interfaces are there in those packages, and we have seen the specifically about which servlet, generic servlet, and HTTP servlet. Okay, then next one is these are the important questions. The difference between servlet config and servlet context. Config, context. So these servlet config parameters are specified for a particular servlet and are unknown to other servlet. It is used for initializing purpose. Config, servlet config. This is for initializing purpose. This object is used in the init method. Init method. Okay, this is specified for a particular servlet and it is not known to other servlets. It is for a particular servlet. Okay, then next servlet context. So this is specified for entire application. Okay, if you take one application, it contains various servlets. Okay, one servlet for handling the what registration request, one servlet for handling the login request. Okay, one servlet for retrieving some information from the database, and one servlet for storing some information into the database, like that. These all are the various operations which can performed in the application. Okay, so if you take one application, it contains multiple servlets are there working for that entire application. Okay, so what we have seen, servlet config. Okay, that is for a particular servlet. But servlet context, this is for entire application. Context config for a particular one, then this context for entire application outside of any particular servlet, and are available to all the servlets within that application. Okay, so like that, it is a global servlet context. This parameter, this is a global, so this can be accessible by any servlet. But servlet config is a local. Okay, that is for a particular servlet. Okay, that is a difference between main difference between servlet context and servlet config. So we'll see servlet config. So this is available in this package. So this is object is one per servlet class. So objects of servlet config will be created during initialization process of the servlet. This config object is public to a particular servlet only. Scope scope of this, as long as the servlet is executing, this object will be available. So this will be destroyed once the servlet execution is completed. Okay, that particular execution if completed, then automatically this object will be destroyed. Okay, but in application, not like that. So multiple servlets, one by one servlet will be executed. So this is for a particular servlet. So this life of this object will be destroyed once the servlet execution is completed. So we should give request explicitly in order to create servlet config object for the first time. Okay. So in web.xml, init param tag will appear under servlet class tag. We will see that which kind of code is there in the web.xml. Okay, this is one example. Yes. So servlet name, servlet class, init param name. So param value. This type of code is going to be there in the web.xml for servlet config. So parameter name and parameter value. So parameter name, this one is a parameter name, then this one is a parameter value. Same, simply something x equal to some value. So here x is this and value is this one. So parameter, x is a parameter or variable, then parameter name and parameter value. Okay. So here servlet class is which one? Any kind of, this is a servlet class name. Okay, in this, okay, these parameters are used, one parameter. So like that, multiple parameters can be used. So this is a simple example. So next one is the servlet context. Servlet context. Okay, this is available in this package. Okay, this object is global to entire application. This is a global. So object of this will be created at the time of web application deployment. Deployment. So scope, as long as web application is executing, this object will be available and it will be destroyed once the application is removed from the server. So in the servlet config, if the servlet is destroyed, is completed its task, then at that time that object will be destroyed. But here this one, if the entire application is removed, okay, that means completed, then this object is removed from the server. Okay, this will be there in this, you will see that. So context param, same thing, context param, so param name and param value. Okay, so same thing, servlet first starting root tag, then root element, then servlet class, then servlet that a name, context param, so parameter value, parameter name, then parameter value. Okay, so this is available throughout the application. Okay, so stackoverflow.com, okay, that is a website name, okay, that application name. So this is available throughout. So stackoverflow.com slash some login, some registration, okay, that is for a particular one, but this is, it contains all, it is a global one. Okay. So here we can say number of web applications equal to the that many number of select context object. So one object for web application, one object for web application. Okay, if you have one web application, one which this context object is created. So if number of servlets equal to that many number of servlet config objects, okay, how many number of servlets are there in that application, those many objects are required. Here, for how many number of applications are there, those many number of these objects there. For in Stack Overflow, or if you take any web application, it contains only one object, that is a context object. Okay, in that number of applications are going to be there, number of servlet classes are going to be there. So those many, so how many servlet classes are there, those many config objects required. Okay, so this is a difference between servlet context, servlet config. Servlet config is a local, servlet context is a global. Okay, so like this also you can write the, this is an important question in the external exam. So that's why I have discussing the differences between these. So many times this question was there in that. So that's why especially concentrating on this. So servlet config and servlet context. So previously what we have discussed, like that also you can give the explanation, you can write the answer like that or like this also. Okay, so already we have completed this all, not required. So the next one is a what, session tracking API. That is one last topic to complete this third unit, session tracking. So different session tracking mechanisms are there. Okay, we'll see those all in the next class. Yeah, answered redundance. First, just want to note present this number. So any that 16 series, first any 16 series are there. So tell your number. 16 series, 17,
Sir, 511.
17,
17 series.
series 556, sir.
Huh? Wait.
511, sir.
17 series 556, sir.
56. Yes. Next.
511, sir.
Okay. Next. Anyone in 17 series? Okay. 16 series. Okay. Then 18 series 1 to 10. So if any between 1 to 10.
501, sir.
1. Okay. Next.
505, sir.
5,
6, sir.
6,
508, sir.
8, 9,
509, sir.
Okay, 9. Next. Next numbers.
516, sir.
16.
517, sir.
18. 17.
550.
17.
Yes, sir.
18.
517.
sir.
17. 18. Next.
515, sir.
520, sir.
20. Next.
520, sir.
520. Okay, next.
Sir, 515, 15.
22. 515.
Yes, sir, 515, 15.
Okay. Next, 22. After 22.
528, sir.
8. Next.
532, sir.
32.
536, sir.
36.
534.
34. 36. Next.
534, sir.
Okay. 34. 36. After 36.
541, sir.
41.
42, sir.
42.
543, sir.
43. 44. 40. 43. Okay. Next. 40.
44, 45 present, sir.
44. 45.
Yes.
546 present, sir.
46.
Present, sir.
Okay. Next.
548 present, sir.
48. Next. Next, ma.
Sir, 551 present, sir.
51.
554 present, sir.
54.
557 present, sir.
57. Okay.
560, sir.
60. Next. After 60. Okay. Any. So that are 16 series, 17 series. Anyone? Okay, you can leave, ma.
Sir,
Yes.
540 present, sir. She kept message in the chat section.
40.
540.
చెప్పనీకి ఏమైంది మరి?
Sir, her mic is not working, it seems, sir.
Okay. Ma, just I have noted only 29 members, but in the meeting, I think nearly 35, 30 plus are there. నా చెప్పకుండా మాత్రం మీరే లాస్. నేను at the end of the class only I will take the attendance. మీరు జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారు, సింపుల్గా వదిలేస్తున్నారు. నాట్ లైక్ దట్. యూ షుడ్ లిజన్ ద క్లాస్, యూ షుడ్ రెస్పాన్స్. 30, వాట్ హ్యాపెన్ మా భరది? She is there, but she did not tell her number. So we will give the response at the time of taking the attendance. I will note their number only. So they will be treated as a present for the class. అంటే మీరు ఎంత యాక్టివ్ ఉన్నారు, ఏం చేస్తున్నారో అర్థమవుతుంది. మీరు అటెండ్ తీసుకునేటప్పుడు కూడా అట్లీస్ట్ యు ఆర్ నాట్ ఇన్ ఏ పొజిషన్స్ టు టెల్ యువర్ నంబర్ అంటే అర్థమవుతుంది. మీరు ఆన్ చేస్తున్నారు, మీ పని మీరు చేసుకుంటున్నారు. ఇంకొక 34 మెంబర్స్, 4-5 మెంబర్స్ అటెండెన్స్ నాట్ టేకెన్.